I recognize the member for Waterloo.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. It's a pleasure to rise today and speak during Ontario's first Rowan's Law Day. We've come a long way in Ontario and in this legislature since we first began talking about Rowan Stringer's tragic passing and the establishment of the Rowan's Law Advisory Committee. Today we are celebrating her day, which was created as part of legislation that will hopefully go a long way towards improving concussion education and shift the culture of sports. We are beginning to see that culture shift happen today. Professional athletes are donating their brains for research. Sports organizations are starting to take concussions seriously for the first time. And as parents or players, we are working towards making sure everyone stays safe when they play sports. Now, each time I've spoken about Rowan's Law in the House, I've highlighted the stories of those who have suffered concussions and were brave enough to talk about their stories. Today, I want to talk about Ben Finelli, a former Kitchener Ranger. As a rookie 16-year-old defenseman, he got hit behind the net, his helmet came off, and his head hit the metal station. When he woke up in the hospital, his doctor said, "Sports are out of the question. You won't be able to go to school for 2 years, and you may never be the same person you were for the first 16 years of your life." But with the support of his community, Ben worked hard to recover and returned to the Kitchener Rangers 2 seasons later, and in his last year as a Ranger, he captained the team. On recovering from a concussion, Ben said, "It's not easy to talk about an injury that people think is weak. When you're honest with people, they realize it's not a weakness. It's something tough that you have to go through." That honesty, that support is the biggest thing in concussion and head injury. Ben is now an associate coach of the University of Waterloo Warriors men's hockey team and co-founder of Empower Foundation, a charitable movement created to advance the recovery of head injuries in sport. It's because of inspirational people like Ben, the Stringer family, my colleagues here, Ottawa South and from Nepean, who we all work together, and there's honestly not enough stories of us all working together. The Rowan's Law Advisory Committee members and countless others that are here acknowledging Rowan's Law Day in the legislature. Earlier today, I read an article in the Globe and Mail by Charles Tater, and he says very clearly, "The message on concussions needs to be clear. Prevent them, recognize them, diagnose them, treat them expertly. These messages save lives and prevent disability." But we do need that final piece, that education piece, to make sure that coaches and players are treating concussions seriously. We need to work to get the ministry to develop those educational tools for parents. It's encouraging to hear about the social media campaign. Those tools are needed for parents and coaches and players so that everyone on the ice, on the court, on the field are playing safely. We also need to work to push those sport organizations to develop those concussion codes of conduct and removal from sport and return to sport protocols. And a last thing, when we were discussing the final Rowan's Law bill, there was a recommendation that the government establish a committee or a group to monitor the government's progress on implementing these concussion protocols. And it would be good for everyone involved to know when that group is going to be created, and I hope that's the next step. It is in the public interest to do this right and in a timely fashion. We all care deeply about honouring Rowan's memory. Indeed, it is our shared responsibility in this House to do so. I look forward to seeing the progress we make as a province to make sure that tragedies like Rowan's death never happens again. Finally, over my 6 years here at Queen's Park, the most rewarding work has been inspired by people like Gordon and Kathleen Stringer, who have effectively collaborated. They have lobbied for change to honour their daughter and to make this province a better place. You continue to inspire. Thank you so much for your work. Thank you.